Well friends, it's that time of the year again, Christmas. And also the time where I start doing Thomas related reviews throughout December.
Yep, as the years go by, it's getting harder and harder to think about other Thomas bits to talk about besides each series and special that comes out every year. And obviously a few years ago I did cover some of the video games that I played, and last year I did series 8 to 12.
Of course I've got series 21 and Big World Big Adventures to review, but I've done so many Thomas related reviews for Thomascember that it's getting kind of hard to find other things to talk about.
So this year I thought, why not do some other things? Like maybe some Trivial Pursuit about some other Thomas related productions, like some spin-offs and early episodes and whatnot, and just some characters that you may or may not remember about or never made it into the show. Just all sorts of fun trivial things that you may or may not have known. And of course I'm still going to review Series 21 and Big World Big Adventures. And while some people have asked me to review Series 22, aka Big World Big Adventures this year to save me having to do it next year, then it's just not going to happen this year because not every single episode aired in the UK. And I know that a lot of the episodes have been released online, but I honestly prefer to watch them when they're first broadcast in the UK before I do a review of them. So this is just going to be some Trivial Pursuit reviews as well as Series 21 and Big World Big Adventures the movie.
So, let's not waste any more time and dive into Thomascember 2018.
Here's an interesting fact that some people may or may not know. The first two UK VHS tapes for Series 3 actually had some earlier narrations done by Michael Angelus. Those tapes being Time for Trouble and Other Stories, which featured A Scar for Percy, Percy's Promise, Time for Trouble, Gordon and the Famous Visitor, Donald's Duck, Thomas Gets Bumped, Thomas Percy and the Dragon, and Diesel Does It Again. The other tape was Trust Thomas and Other Stories, which featured Henry's Forest, The Trouble with Mud, No Joke for James, Thomas Percy and the Post Train, Trust Thomas, Mavis, Toby's Tightrope, and Edward, Trevor and the Really Useful Party. These videos were originally released in 1991, before the episodes even aired on TV. Then in 1992, they were re-released after the episodes aired on TV along with the other episodes that were included in Escape and Other Stories. The very interesting thing about this style of narration is the fact that Michael Angelus does it in a very different way than what he did in the final product.
Like for example, here's a sample of Michael Angelus' narration for the TV version.
James was snorting about in the yard. It's too bad. Percy goes to work at the harbour and I do his job. Here, there and everywhere. Take that. Oh, blow the truck. Just you wait, we'll show you.
And here's a sample from the early narrations from the VHS tapes.
James was snorting about in the yard. It's too bad, he grumbled. Percy goes to work at the harbour and I do his job. Here, there and everywhere. Take that. Oh, blow the truck. Just you wait, we'll show you.
So you can see the differences between each version and how he delivered his deliveries.
As we all know in the final versions of the episodes, as well as episodes onwards till the end of his days as narrator, he gave a lot of energy to his lines, even in the moments when the engines were either scared or angry or shocked about something. Whereas in the early narrations, he seemed more calm and collected with his deliveries. Almost like Ringo Starr when he narrated the first two series of the show.
My guess is that because he was the newcomer after Ringo Starr left, he might have wanted to do it in a similar way that Ringo Starr did. Calm, but also quite energetic at times.
But that might not have been the case, and these were probably just tests for his narration to see if he would be the right guy to do the stories. But then again, I'm not really sure why he redid them a year later. But it's still quite fun to listen to both narrations and do a comparison to see which one's better. Another interesting part about these early narrations is that some pieces of music from the episodes are missing in the early versions. Then in the final versions from 1992 you get to hear more music, and a little bit more dialogue here and there, so it shows that Michael really did up his game when he did the final versions of the narrations for these episodes. Now I know a lot of people may love the final product for Michael Angelus' narration for these episodes, but I honestly find myself remembering the early narrations the most, because those were the two VHS tapes that I grew up with, as well as being the first two Thomas VHS tapes I ever owned. So while the final narrations Michael did for the episodes are really good and more energised, I do find myself going back to the original early narrations more, because they're the ones I remember most as a kid. In fact, I remember them so much that I'm honestly hoping that Mattel decides to find these early narrations and release them on DVD, exclusive for the fans. Just so people could see the differences between the narrations and decide for themselves which they like better. As of now, there's no official re-release for these early narrations, but you can find them on YouTube. That was where I found them recently.
And looking back at these early narrations today, I'm honestly wondering why they never released these on DVD yet. I mean, it'd just be so amazing to see these on DVD, just so that the fans can see the differences in the narrations and decide which ones are the best.
So if you loved Michelangelos as Thomas the Tank Engine narrator, then I highly recommend checking out these early narrations from these few episodes. I think you'll find it great to hear his early take on the narrations, and it would be nice to do a comparison to the two to see which ones you like the best. But whichever versions of his narrations you like the best, leave a comment section below and let me know. They're worth checking out and worth comparing.